So in my last story time, I realised I forgot to put on screen who was who. So here, Freddy was Jason, Goro and Triborg, I was Tremor, Scorpion and Kenshi. But anyway, hi, I'm Marty, and today, welcome to episode 17 of this series that I do. Story time, where I tell you a story that actually happened. However, unlike the channel actually happened, my stories are actually true. My birthday may be over, but now it's Valentine's Day, and love is in the air. But the problem is, Corona's still here, so probably best not to touch it this year. You already have enough germs in your mouth, never mind what people can catch from the Corona. Anyway, I'm actually glad I don't have a fuck bitch right now, because, let me explain, Studio said it herself, that it makes you rethink kissing. And you know what? She's right. Well, no, she's not. She's half left, half right. Half top, half bottom, both look good naked. But anyway, because it's the 14th, this story time is going to be about all the dates I've had in my life. But we have a date every day. Now, because I'm a lonely cunt, I've only had 4 dates. Whereas people my age, which is 19, would have fucked by now. And even though I'm going to be talking about those girls again, it will be harmless. I will say a few things, but I'm not going to get carried and angry this time. I've learnt my lesson from... Anyway, let's start this. My first date. The 10th of July 2018, I was having a text conversation with the first one, and she started talking about us having a date, so we started to plan and decide on what place and what date we should have it on and off. A few days later, I thought, because she loves Disney, I ultimately decided to take her to the cinema to see Incredibles 2 on the 18th. The perfect date. Well, almost. I'm not very good with locations in general, but both of us didn't know where the View Cinema was, so my mum drove me there and her family drove her. We chatted for a bit. They met my mum and she met Bella. She said that Bella was cute. She may be cute, but fuck me, no, in that way. She is a fucking pain in the arse to live with. And one else's arse, pain in the arse to live with, a cactus. Not only did she break her musical snow globe and her bed, but while I was at shop, she hid my slipper, and I could not for the life of me find it. I looked in the drawers, under the bed, on the windowsill, the cupboards, the buffets, under and down the back of the sofas, the pantry, under the table, the bins, in the oven, in the chest. It was in the toy box. I couldn't fucking understand how a 5-year-old girl, 6 in March, could fucking hide it well. Me, Freddie and Mum and Dad were trying to get her to talk. We were like the fucking police at that rate. She was lying out of her fucking arsehole, talking about she doesn't know where, if she did touch it or not. Then she said, no, she didn't touch it. But we all know it was her, because if me, Freddie, Chloe, Mum and Dad didn't touch it, then that leaves all the evidence being her. And plus, that wasn't the only time where she touched my slippers. And she's the only one who touches other people's shit. Ew. And not only that, but now, she was then saying that she threw it, but then she couldn't remember where she threw it. Mate, she's not even 6 yet, and already she's acting like and behaving like a bitch. But anyway, this isn't even about her, it's about me wanting to get my dick sucked. So, as we arrived at the Signee May, right after my mum paid for it, embarrassing, but to be fair, we were both only 16 at the time. Anyway, we got there, and here's the thing. Even though we were barely talking because of the film, I thought this was perfect for a very first date, and I still think that now. And I know that sounds a bit daft, but the reason why I think this is because it's a way of taking it slow, spending time with each other, but not talking to each other at the cinema, to hide the fact that you are unprepared because it's your very first date. But anyway, after the film had finished, we went outside to wait for my mum, because my mum is the only one in my family who drives. Actually, I say that, but my brother Blake drives me up the wall sometimes, trying to take away the fact that I won that game of Jenga. Anyway, like I said earlier, we were unprepared, so neither of us said a word. She said in her horrible, nasty, squeaky voice, "Oh, Marty, thanks for taking me on a date." But that was pretty much it. I look forward to watching that and writing a review to send to my friend who's scared of clowns. Haha. Anyway, so that was the first one. The second date, and this is the one that I really don't like to look back on the most. The 4th of August, same year, I was chatting over WhatsApp, and then that fateful day, I came up with the idea to have her come, no, wait, round my house. She wasn't sure at first because we haven't decided on a date, so I picked the 12th, and that's the day that it happened. She scheduled for herself to arrive at 12 p.m. I woke up at 11:30 a.m. I dashed out of bed because I only had half an hour to spare. Had my breakfast, cup of tea with ginger nuts, not that type. However, I wasn't quick enough because while I was brushing my teeth, she turned up, and because the door was open, I even heard my mum say to her, "Marty's brushing his teeth, he's not long just got up." After a minute or so, I noticed through the mirror that she was looking at me. At least she knows I have lovely minty fresh breath now. Anyway, after I was finished, I went downstairs, but then immediately went back upstairs, literally less than a minute. We went in the bedroom. We should have been alone, but Freda, the crazy one, came, in the bedroom, and he would not fucking leave. He was only 5 at the time. It was just annoying because we wanted to spend some time together, and we've got Freddy the fucking weasel just sitting in the corner not going away. And I couldn't just shut him out the room because it's his room too. But then I say that, but I remember when my older brother Blake and his sex toy came round, Mum and Dad would tell me, "You leave them alone." And it was my bedroom too, so why didn't that fucking rule apply to Freda? Blake, I want to show you my new dance. Marty, get out. He spread his legs in front of her, like, mate, she's my missus, not yours. I bet he was thinking, I'm here to steal your missus. Just because that one girl said goodbye to you doesn't make you a man whore. But to be fair, even if he wasn't there, it still wouldn't have gone well. We chatted for a bit, but again, we've all been there when you're trying to talk to the person you like, and you can't even muster up the courage to say something, I'm giving up on you. Anyway, we had tea and biscuits together. We watched some comedy because she loves Bottom, the program, not my arse. We watched the first 2 episodes of Young Ones because they have the same cast and same sense of humour. But then after that, neither of us could say a word because we were both embarrassed. So I ended up playing Crash Team Racing and she was playing Ladybug on her tablet. And afterwards, I just doing my thing on my tablet. Freddie was still there. She said at one point, I bet he's trying to stop us from doing anything. And then I said, when he's got a girlfriend, I'll just hang about when she nips round. And she said, oh, that's not very nice. 1, says the one who's going to be horrible to me in the future, and 2, that's what he's doing to us. But anyway, after a while, I remembered that she's really into cooking and baking, so we watched some simple cooking videos, and even though I didn't really give a fuck, I did it for her because she was engrossed. After a few videos though, she had to go home, and I was really annoyed with Freda because if he wasn't there, I would have probably said things that I wanted to say. Anyway, my third date, I was just minding my own business, playing Insane Trilogy, trying to get everything so I can do everything I've done on Insane Trilogy video, when I got a text from her saying, my mum said you can come round at any time as long as you let me know. So on the 22nd, I phoned her that I was ready to pop round her house. That was fun. My mum drove me, so we tried to meet each other at Tesco's, or as my dad calls it, holiday Tesco's. I rang her to ask her if she was inside the building, but no, she was outside. Then we couldn't see each other because the car park was crowded, and plus our families had the same type of car, so not good first impression. We found each other eventually. Her dad drove me there home. We got there, we went to the bedroom, no twat-faced Freda there, thank God. However, there was no internet, which is not automatically a bad thing, because my mum and dad didn't have internet when they first started going out, and now that was 29 years ago, and they're probably fucking right now as I'm talking. Well, I hope not, because the microphone is on. It's story time, not sexy time. Maybe they're right. Maybe the internet does ruin everything. Anyway, the next sentence of this internet video, I gave her my gifts that I got from holiday a month prior. They were a plaque and a door magnet that had her name on it, 2 teddies and a sugar dummy, because perfect practice makes perfect. Anyway, she gave me a hug afterwards. I really loved her hugs. When Blake hugged me, he fucking stank. Anyway, even though we didn't have any internet, she used up the rest of her data, or as the Australians pronounce it, data, to watch videos on her laptop, and while she was watching them, she was eating her sugar dummy, and I swear to God, she said this, not me, but she said, imagine if this was a dick. And I know, not that I should be saying this on YouTube, but I did get a little bit of a boner when she said that. But thankfully she didn't notice, thank God. But still, actually, what would have happened if she did notice? Would it have happened? Have her empty it and have her relieve me? I'll never know. Anyway, we took a photo together, we chatted for a bit, she was doing her dancing and I was being her audience and clapping along. But then after a while, the inevitable happened. Again, our words just would not come out. We were just sitting there completely silent, not speaking of the words of the English language to one another. So I went downstairs because I knew that if I didn't, we would have just sat there for even longer and it would have gotten even more awkward. So we went downstairs together so we could have more people help with the conversation, and the telly helped a bit, along with her parents, siblings and the pictures on the wall. After a while, her dad asked her if she could fetch her the car keys. So what's wrong with her? She had no choice. So I went with her. So while we were starting chatting about us again, but then when we got back, I saw her putting on, you know that stuff that you spray on your nostrils when you've got a snot blocked nose? Well, that's what she was doing. But then by the time she was done, it was time for me to go, no, not the toilet so we could have a fuck, but I had to go home. Her family drove me back home, and while we were in the car, we were talking about foods we do and don't like. But then someone had spotted a building that had her name on it, so we started making jokes about her having her own company. But then after that, we noticed someone who was completely pissed out of his head, to the point where he couldn't even stand up properly, and who he was assuming to be his girlfriend, had to help him up and rest him on a half-brick wall that you could sit on. Oh, it's funny when it's not happening to you. And thirdly, the last thing that happened, her dad, who was driving, closed his glasses case, and those who have to wear glasses will know how those fucking things close. They make a bang noise, like, when they close. It fucking made me jump. To which then, she actually smacked her dad on the arm, even though he said sorry. So, one, in a way, kind of rude. But also, secondly, her mum said that she's a good un. No, she's not, love. You wanna know why? Because this fourth and final date was with a different girl. The second one, on the 22nd of September, I was asked if I was free on Friday, because she was planning to take me to Odeon Cinema, but first we had to decide on a date to have the date. At first it was the 28th of December, but that was no good, because not only is that April's birthday, but like I said in my last story time, that's my nana has my same birthday as her. So as a direct result, my dad would have a night out with her, and my mum had to go whack 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 whack. So I had to look after Freddie and Bella. So I asked if I could go on the 29th, but then a few days later she let me know that day was also no good, because her sister had to go hospital because she was giving birth to twins. So she suggested the 5th of January, so now we're in 2019 now. Anyway, so when it was the 5th of January, my granddad's birthday, I showed up to the place that she wanted me to meet her, which was near my college I went to at the time. Not now, but after a while or so of waiting for her ass, I was texting her, asking her where she was at. But as soon as she started typing, she showed up and I spotted her. Turns out, apparently, she got kicked out of the bus for sneezing too loudly. At first, I thought it was a bit of an overreaction. But now that I think about it, maybe she was the real cause for COVID. It would make sense. But anyway, we were chatting to each other. She was talking about how she had been watching how I make my videos live stream. Cheers. I was relying on her to take me there because she told me she knew exactly where it was. However, that was a lie. Of course, I expect that from her. She got us totally fucking lost. I don't get it. She put herself on a spot too, so why would she do that? We got lucky, because if it wasn't for the fact that we bumped into her friend, who was able to take us there, if she wasn't there, we would have been fucked, basically. When we arrived, We hung about for a bit, something that she needs to do more often. We had to wait for the film that we wanted to watch was ready. We was originally going to watch The Grinch, but then we ultimately decided on Wreck-It Ralph 2, Ralph Breaks the Internet. We paid for it for our own money this time, and the rest is pretty much the same as the first date. Even though it wasn't my first date, it was still a first date with this new girl. So it's a good thing that we chose the cinema, like what I was saying earlier. Now, I don't know if this was because I was a lot more confident or if it was because she liked me, but could be both. But even down to when we were leaving and walking to the bus stop, I really didn't have as much trouble talking to her this time. I got on the bus and said goodbye to her. Now, unfortunately, that's the only date where I went out with her for this girl, because every other day after that, we would make a plan, she would make up an excuse at the last minute. Now, even though that's all of my dates, I still have one more story to tell. This isn't a date, technically. It's just an extra story that I've slipped into this. And I really wanted to slip into her. The only reason why I'm including this is because it's similar. And plus, like I keep saying, I don't like making things its own one-off video. Anyway, on the 13th of November 2019, my mum's birthday, yes, we fast-forwarded a bit, I was in the common room at my current college. I was sitting minding my own business when all of a sudden a girl with brownish blondish hair came up to me and started talking to me. I don't know if she walked over to me because she wanted to, or because of the poster on the wall that said, if you see someone who's alone, there's probably a reason for that. I asked her and she can't remember now, but nonetheless I'm glad she did. But anyway, she started talking to me about the redesigned Sonic film trailer. This time 1 year ago, she was going to see it at the cinema. She was asking me, how do you change your YouTube profile picture? When lunch had finished, when she had to leave, I thought to myself, she's gorgeous. That wasn't the first time we saw each other though, because before that, we would be in the same classes and we would see each other, and I would see her in the common room talking to another girl who looked very familiar because I went to school with her, but we just didn't say anything. That day was the first time we properly sat down and spoke to each other because we were both very happy. I told my mates about her and they were so hyped. After that, she approached me again and she started showing me her TikTok, and even though I don't use TikTok, I thought this was perfect for getting to know each other. Because here's the thing, love is not something you just get automatically. You have to earn it, you know. Look at the film Flushed Away, which is one of my favourite films of all time. I fucking love that film. When the two main characters, Roddy and Rita, first met, they fucking hated each other. But, spoiler, by the end of the film, they became a couple. Why? Because they learnt to trust each other. So, I had to wait for a fair bit before what I thought to be the right time to tell her the truth. We kept talking to each other every day. She subscribed to me, and remember when I said she spoke to another girl who I recognised because she went to my school? Well, it was her younger sister. She asked me if I knew her, and I said yes, we went to Fulhurst together. It wasn't until we were on the bus, she pointed me to her sister, and, reluctantly enough, she remembered me. We talked about what we got up to and how we've changed in the year we didn't see each other. A few more days later, she showed me her Nintendo Switch and her collection. I thought, okay, we have quite a few things in common. She loves her gaming. She did videos on YouTube, but she doesn't upload on there anymore, just TikTok and Instagram. She loves her junk food, such as chocolates and fizzy drinks, although she is trying to cut down now because of her clickety bones. We have the same sense of humour. She also hates YouTube ads. She likes ASMR. We both wear glasses. And she has autism too. Now, I don't have this, but she also has ADHD, just like Freda. Another day, and we were having another conversation. We got talking about age, and this is how I I discovered that she was 22, 23 in April, and now she's going to be 24 this year. And I was shocked because I was not expecting her to be that much older, in the same way how the students in the college I went to before this one was shocked about how I was 17. Because they said I looked younger. I thought the same thing with her. I decided to not let that bother me because it's only a 5-year gap. My mum and dad have a 5-year gap. My nana and her partner, they have an 11-year gap. I honestly would not mind an older girl. Not too old, obviously. You have to draw a line somewhere. But 17 and 22 isn't bad. She's only a couple of months older than my older sister. Anyway, it was me who wanted her. And even if she came on to me, I would be the legal age in less than 3 months. And plus, we had to take the time anyway. I wanted to see how far this was going to go. After a bit some more time, she started to give me hugs when she would say goodbye. Students and staff thought we were going out, so I just very quickly explained the situation. So I'm thinking, this is going great. So I had to formulate a plot, because I knew that if I didn't tell her at some point, we would get nowhere. So the plan was to give her my phone number before we split up for the Chrissy holiday, and then ask her out on Valentine's Day, because by that point I'll be 18. The last day of term arrived, and she was next to me, and I was thinking, when is the best time to offer the number? Because I just couldn't do it, because, how do you bring it up in conversation? With words. The end of the day was nearly there, and she still hadn't got my number. And then the next thing I knew, the day was over, and we had to get on the bus together. This was before COVID started. I couldn't give it to her then because there's people there, and like I just said, you didn't need to wear a mask at the time, so people could see who you were. As we got off the bus, she gave me a hug again. I'm surprised she didn't crush my ribs and squash my lungs. Anyway, I told her to take care. When I got home, I was so pissed because I failed to do the thing that I said I was gonna do. Listen, have you ever had that feeling when you like a girl but you just can't tell her? She told me that she is a TikTok player dresser. As soon as she said that, I was like, oh hella. She doesn't like Ferreras, that she has Nutella. I also got chatted up by another one called Ella. I consider myself to be a very smart fella because I am actually a very clever speller. Unlike my brother Blake, he's a fucking fart smeller. He has a girlfriend, all he does 24/7 is smeller. Do not buy me a hat that has a propeller, because I'll just give it to my sister called Bella. All of her mates will be well mega jella. And when I say that, I mean proper fucking mega. It's a better present than a bloody umbrella. Like the girl in Sita, her name is Isabella. She's a slut, whore and a slag man. For this song I had to use a lot of fucking letters. So I thought, okay, having the number for a few weeks won't hurt. But then every single time I tell myself to do something, I fuck it up. On the 23rd of January 2020, she was showing me some more TikTok that she did. There was one TikTok in particular that she showed me. There was another girl on screen, and I thought nothing of it because she does collaborations all the time. However, she pointed at the other girl and went, "That's my girlfriend." Yep, you heard me. And not only that, but they've been dating for a while. In fact, even before we met. I was so gutted and devastated, because all that time trying to get her to like me back for 2 months, and she already had a partner the whole time. If you saw me in person that day, you would have been able to tell. I didn't, but I was nearly in tears. I was that upset. That's why if you go on my SoundCloud and look at the thumbnail, there's a reason why I look so down in the dumps in the photo. Because that picture was taken literally the day after I found out, 24th of January. And the thing is, I never told her how I felt about her. And I still haven't told her. She hurt me and she doesn't even know. And I couldn't just stop talking to her because we got really close creating this friendship. I know I'm going to have to tell her at some point. I can't hide it from her forever, because I'll just make it 10 times worse. But I'm also worried about what she'll say to me when she does find out. Will she get angry? Will she stop talking to me? I don't want to lose her as a friend. Her sister doesn't even know either. When I told my family about her, Blake managed to find a picture of her, even though he's never met her before, so yeah, a little bit creepy. The rest were very supportive, and so were my mates. I just don't know what to do, because I still really like her. I just don't know how to tell her. I wrote a letter all the way back in January, But now, after everything that's happened, I thought, nah, just leave it. Forget it. I give up. So, I tore it up and threw it in the bin. There was one time where I was going to tell her, but then her bloody sister was there. We have not hugged in over a year now. But even then, if we still did, I knew it wouldn't go any further than that. Now, normally I don't leak people's real names, but her name is already out there because of her TikToks, YouTube and Instagram. And plus, so many people have this name anyway. So, I'm just going to say it. Because this is the only way I'm going to be able to tell her without making it even more awkward than it already is. Who is it? Well, her name is Victoria Marsden, the girl from the Ink Bendy channel I did a birthday video on, who I mentioned in my commentary on more of my older videos, and in my game collection's 1st of November video. She even watched that video and mentioned that video during the conversation, and even down to when we returned from lockdown, she started talking to me immediately because of how much she missed me. So, deep down, we're still very good friends. But anyway, I remember one time years ago, well, I say years ago, it was 3 years ago, Blake asked me, what did you get your girlfriend for Valentine's Day? She dumped me. And then he started laughing. Dick. But anyway, this script was even longer. So, that was episode 17 of Storytime. That was about the time me telling you all about my dates. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked this video, then share, leave a comment, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. And if anyone out there thinks that my videos are crap, let me know why in the comments, and hopefully I will improve. And if you're new to this channel, or you've just found it, feel free to subscribe if you want. I'm Marty. Bye. I will see you very soon. I'm out. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone.